Tonight on Newsbeat, Hurricane Irma is threatening Florida.
And hear how business leaders are reacting to the end of the DACA.
Learn more about the dead zone in the Pacific Ocean that could impact your seafood.
Don't go anywhere. Newsbeat starts right now.
Hello and welcome back to Newsbeat. I'm Nadine Abusada.
And I'm Matt Houston. Thanks for joining us.
Florida is preparing for the worst as Hurricane Irma strengthens to a Category 5 hurricane. Florida Governor Rick Scott declared a state of emergency in all 67 counties. While there is no clear path for Irma, computer models show the storm could impact Florida and much of the Caribbean. Currently, winds are close to 185 miles per hour, enough to cause devastation should it make landfall. Developing behind Irma is Tropical Storm Jose, which experts predict will only become stronger in the coming days. Both of those storms come after Hurricane Harvey has already impacted the Texas area.
LSU is helping those Texas Tigers get back on their feet after Tropical Storm Harvey. President King Alexander sent an email to all students expressing sympathy for any loss they may have experienced and offered academic, financial, and emotional assistance. If you experienced financial damages that hinder class attendance or studying, contact the bursar's office. The food pantry, located in the Student Union, is also a free resource students can use. Counseling is available from LSU Mental Health, and their helpline is accessible 24/7. Lastly, if you're looking to help other students in southeastern Texas, you can donate to the LSU Student Disaster Relief Fund or to the LSU Foundation.
A few LSU biology grad students have been helping out with some important research in the Gulf of Mexico. Tiger TV reporter Rachel Hanley spoke to Celeste Landclose and Michael Henson to find out more.
For LSU grad students, research can take you far. Recently, Celeste Longclose set sail on a research cruise in the Gulf of Mexico, led by LSU professor Nancy Rabelais.
Overall, Dr. Rabelais does this trip every year to map out the hypoxic zone in the Gulf of Mexico.
A hypoxic zone, also known as a dead zone, is a region of very low oxygen at the bottom few meters of a body of water. The seasonal dead zone in the Gulf of Mexico is the second largest in the world.
The dead zone in the Gulf of Mexico is caused when the Mississippi drains out and brings in loads of excess nutrients, generally nitrogen and phosphorus. And what happens is that causes a bloom of algae, photosynthetic algae, that use that nitrogen, bloom, and produce oxygen.
When these algae die and sink to the bottom, bacteria consume them, using up a large amount of oxygen and creating hypoxia. Longclose went on this research trip to help measure the size and intensity of the Gulf of Mexico dead zone. What they found was ominous. The dead zone was the biggest it's been in the 30-plus years since LSU researchers started measuring it. This could be caused by pollution.
There's a pretty direct correlation between the amount of nutrients pumped into the water from the Mississippi River to how big the hypoxic zone is and just how hypoxic it is.
Since the dead zone can have a severe impact on the Gulf of Mexico ecosystem, the Louisiana seafood industry may suffer if it gets out of hand.
Depending on how big the hypoxia zone is, it can have pretty devastating effects on the economy of these local seafood industries.
LSU researchers are keeping a close eye on the dead zone and will hopefully be able to find a way to stop its growth or shrink it before it's too late. With Tiger TV, I'm Rachel Handley.
To hear more about the new developments in the College of Biology, follow their blog on LSU College of Science and their website.
A grass maintenance crew found a dead body on a bench near Polk Street early Tuesday morning. The Baton Rouge Police Department says the victim was found with a head wound and foul play is suspected. Authorities were called to Polk Street around 8 a.m. and have yet to release suspects or a motive. This is following a series of other violent crimes committed in this area of the city.
After the break, the Fighting Tigers are 1-0. See how it happened next.
Stay with us.
The LSU defense held BYU to less than 100 total yards of offense. Today, sophomore linebacker Devin White talked about how the D-line is young, but they are ready.
You know, strip attempt, that's what he called it every day. You know, Darius Geis run the ball, one person tackling, everybody else go strip it. You know, you might not strip it from him, but, you know, he wanted to be like, you know, seen on film that, hey, they trying to get the ball out because, you know, we have more turnovers than, you know, from their offense, then, I mean, we could possibly win the game, you know, in one phase of the game because we keep getting the ball back to our offense. You know, we recruited the best freshmen. You know, we got the best linebackers in the class of 2017. We got the best safeties. So, I mean, I feel like that's what they came here to do. And, you know, they did it and they showed everybody, you know, why they playing that. So they're just not out there by choice. They actually good.
David Ram and the LSU defense take on Tennessee Chattanooga this Saturday in Tiger Stadium. They look to hold their opponents down once again to keep that early season excitement alive.
The EMS is recommending new guidelines for LSU home games to ensure Tigers have a fun and safe experience. These instructions include preparing for the elements by drinking plenty of water and limiting consumption of caffeine and alcohol. Also, try to walk across campus with friends, especially to unfamiliar places, and don't leave intoxicated people alone. They also recommend following LSU's See Something, Say Something policy. If you see a problem, immediately report it to the police or any security in the area. And of course, don't text and drive, and always wear your seatbelts.
In national news, many are criticizing President Trump for his decision to end the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce head Javier Palomares resigned from Trump's National Diversity Council after the decision. Palomares says cutting the program is a huge disappointment and that the decision would hurt workers the most. Many members in Congress spoke out against President Trump's decision, including Senator John McCain and Jeff Flake. Others, like Senator Lindsey Graham, said the DACA recipients have done nothing wrong and shouldn't be punished by president's decisions. The president says that whatever happens with the program falls on Congress now. White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee says that the decision was made in the interest of fairness to the American citizens.
The main effect of today's announcement is that work permits and other government benefits are being gradually phased out. But rather than leave DACA recipients and the men and women of immigration enforcement in confusing limbo while the DACA program was challenged by states in the same court that struck down another of the previous administration's unlawful immigration.
After the break, apartment complexes aren't just home to humans.
Brittany LaFossa will tell us about a new trend in housing selections when we come back.
Plenty of LSU students started school with their best friends in tow. They're four-legged ones, that is. Tiger TV reporter Brittany LaFossa explains how pet policies affect where tigers choose to live.
Perfect.
Pet policies have a huge effect on where LSU students choose to live. Pet policies differ in every apartment complex. Some apartment complexes have weight limits for the registered pet. Some have restrictions on certain breeds of dogs. Some limit the number of pets permitted in one unit, and some restrict pets altogether. Students with pets choose an apartment complex to live by assessing the pet policy. It is important that the apartment complex is pet-friendly.
I didn't want JoJo to be too much of a burden on my wallet if I was living somewhere, but obviously it's nice having my best friend here for a cheap rate.
Pet owners also look for apartment complexes with clean environments to walk their furry friends. Residents with dogs require large open spaces to exercise their pets. Student apartment complexes across Baton Rouge are constantly incorporating facilities for these furry residents in an effort to become more pet-friendly.
Be on the lookout for new pet-friendly additions at local apartment complexes.
Astronaut Peggy Winson has returned to Earth after spending a record-breaking 288 days in space. Winson broke the record for the longest time in orbit in a single spaceflight for a female astronaut. At 665 days, she has totaled more time in space than any other American astronaut, male or female. Winson capsules returned to Earth on Monday, landing in central Kazakhstan. She is also the only female astronaut to command the International Space Station twice. At an age of 57, she is the world's oldest woman and oldest female astronaut, not oldest woman, another record breaking for this shining star.
That's quite a woman. Again, we here at Tiger TV want to give our thoughts to the victims of Hurricane Harvey and those affected by the flooding. If you were not affected by the storm, be sure and donate, whether it's through the LSU Foundation or through the Student Disaster Relief Fund and, of course, the American Red Cross, any of those fine organizations. That is all the time we have for here on Newsbeat. For more news, you can keep up with us on lsunow.com and on our social media pages. Thanks for watching. I'm Matt Houston.
And I'm Nadine Obisada. Have a wonderful day, guys.